Man, welcome back to the Fake Stuff Podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do. Let's talk about fake football, gambling, top it off with some real football. Craft man, what's going on, big dog?
You know, the same old thing that I'm always doing, working, coming home, talking football. I've been watching a little bit of the preseason. I guess we can get into that a little bit before we get started because there's a couple things to talk about. A bunch of rookies kind of showing out. Have you got a chance to watch any of the first 5 minutes of some games to see the actual starters play?
Hey, just some headlines, some highlights. Mainly rookies, but other stuff, we'll get into it, like Anthony Richardson. I kind of was interested in how T-Law was doing with Travis Hunter. I got some things to say about him tonight. Just a lot of things, just like how they're involved with the game plan, stuff like that. But as far as watching the whole game, hell no, I ain't had time for that shit. I've been working and stuff. I got time for it.
Yeah, there's some takeaways that I had. Genty, he's dead. Obviously, he had a terrible showing in the first preseason game. So can't draft him. He's off my board. Being sarcastic, obviously, but one thing I did pay attention to, the Braylon Allen Breece Hall split. It kind of looked like Braylon Allen was definitely involved. He looked good, and I was already down on Breece, but I had to, drop him even lower in the rankings. So just a lot of things going on. Richardson got hurt again. Going to come back out, try to prove it. He should be fine, but there's some things. Tet McMillan looked good. Travion Henderson looked like, I feel like he might be the biggest riser before, from right now until we draft, and I kind of hope he stays hidden a little bit because, that's a guy that I kind of want to draft. So some of the rookies showing out right now.
But that's over with, man. That ADP about to rise on up, man.
Matthew Golden had a pass interference on Sauce Gardner, man. He's Justin Jefferson light. I'm telling you, one pass interference call in preseason. Stud.
I seen Jada Reed's a little banged up. Walking on a boot or something like that.
Yeah, he's following the Joe Mixon. He's following in his, I would say, footsteps, but boot steps. Walking around, not doing a whole lot of nothing right now.
You know what, crap, man? I do got one thing to say about the preseason. I don't know if you saw the Falcons and the Lions, and a player got hurt, and they just ran out the clock for 12 minutes. Man, that shit makes me sick to my motherfucking stomach, bro. That's
the games don't matter. The games don't matter.
I know it don't matter, but man, there's guys out there that trying to get roster spots, trying to make practice squad spots, and some guy gets hurt, and you out there running out of the clock, man. Come on, get real, bro. I'm just sick of this. Bro. They play football, bro. They signed up. They know what's happening, man. I'm sick of that shit, man.
I know exactly what song we need to intro you into the videos now. Heartless by Kanye West. Because that's exactly – sometimes you just come across as just heartless, man. I mean, what's your deal? Why do you have so much hate?
It's just some typical Atlanta Falcons bullshit, bro. Seriously, bro. Drives me off the wall, man. Every time I think our culture's changing a little bit, some soft ass shit like that, bro. I mean, get some. It just, I don't know, man. Drives me insane, bro.
Well, we got 2 more weeks of it, so go ahead, strap in, and you need to handle it a little bit better. They should have canceled the game. It doesn't matter. These games don't matter.
Man. All right, well, hey, listen. Before we really get to rolling, don't be a hoe. Share the show. We don't ask for much, but share the show, man, and subscribe, like it. do anything to help us out, show us some support, show us some love. Craftman, anything you want to add to that?
I'm good. Let's get rolling on these divisions. We're talking AFC South, NFC South tonight. Two pretty sorry divisions, but a lot of fantasy implications. So let's get on to it.
Definitely excited to talk about these divisions. Starting it off with the AFC South with Jacksonville, Houston, Tennessee, Colts. I feel like there's just a lot to say about all these teams in this division tonight. But we'll start it off with the favorites, and that is the Houston Texans. To win the division is at plus 115. They're over and under. Win-loss is at 9.5, 9.5 games. So basically, with the Houston Texans, is Stephon Diggs is gone. He was hurt anyways. His name's dropping my mind. The little slot guy who got hurt and is out for the whole year.
Tank
Dale gone for the year. So Houston, what they decide to do is they don't sit back and whine and cry about it. They go out there. They go get two receivers. They draft a receiver in the second. And then they go draft a receiver in a third with Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. Those are really my biggest takeaways as far as just thinking about what they did in the offseason, that they just said, hey, C.J. Stroud's the guy. We're going to keep on building around him. And I honestly respect what Houston did as far as doing that, like a little banged up. And they're bringing that. They have Nico Collins, as the man anyway. So what you think about that, Kraft, man?
I like what they did replacing the receivers that they lost, but their offensive line was, atrocious last year. C.J. Stroud had the most QB pressures in the league. They lose Laramie Tunsil on the offensive line. So really the only knock that I have on their offense is if they can keep Stroud upright and, give the running game. The running game was fine last year. I guess some offensive lines better at run blocking than pass blocking. And that was one of them teams because Mixon was going off at the beginning of last year. But, I mean, props for what they did. They did a pretty good job addressing their needs in the draft. So let's get to talking about the players on their teams.
Nico Collins going into pretty much back of the first, from what I'm saying, back of the first, mid to back. I mean, how do you feel? I mean, I don't mind. That's what I'm saying. Like, I really wouldn't mind drafting from the okay, heck, I'm looking at a sleeper. They finally got my numbers fixed. But anyways, Nico's at 13. So basically back of the first, early second. And listen, I would not mind Nico Collins being my number one wide receiver. I have no fears in that being paired up with C.J. Stroud. Really drafting in the back, man, I really wouldn't mind it. I feel like you can get a couple studs if you draft in the back of the draft like that. So, Nico Collins, I feel like last year I felt like he was really popping off and he looked really strong out there. So I'm all in on Nico. What you say, Kraft, man?
Yeah, drafting in the back is pretty sweet because you can get a guy like Nico. But my question with him, because he's right there where I'm picking at the 110, is there any concern of, you got two rookie receivers? Are they going to take enough away, coverage away from Nico where he can, thrive like he did last year? Because you had Diggs on one side who was having a pretty good start to the year. You had Tank Dell, who was a great number 3 on the team at the time. I kind of feel like Jaden Higgins is going to have to step up for Nico to have a good season, because otherwise defense is just going to focus on doubling Nico and he might have a harder time. So I want to see what you feel about that, or if you feel like it's pretty safe pick in the first.
Oh yeah, I think it's about as safe as can be. But the thing is I do understand what you're saying, but I feel like both of these guys that they drafted this year are about to have a role with Houston. And I don't think they're going to disappoint. And I think that'll definitely help Nico Collins out more than it'll hurt Nico Collins. So I'm all for it. Like, I don't really have any fears as far as Nico, and not even a little bit.
It is kind of funny to me sometimes. I mean, I like Nico. This ain't no hate on him or nothing, but you have some players that just get labeled as injury prone. Nico's never played a full season. He played 12 games last year, 15, 10, and 14. Never played a full season, had the hamstring injury last year, and was obviously just not as good when he came back last year. Week 15, 11 points, 10 points, 11 points. So it was a little bit different when he came back from the hamstring last year. But as far as, do you see him as the same tier as like Amon-Ra, or is he after that?
Well, listen, I feel like a lot of people probably even have Nico ahead of Amon-Ra. But listen, I feel like I'm higher on Amon-Ra because I just saw him finish wide receiver 3 2 years in a row. So I would have him at a tier below, but I know nobody else is thinking that way. So if I'm thinking about what the fantasy community really has Amon-Ra and they got him a little bit behind that tier 1, then yes, they're in the same tier for me.
I know he was wide receiver 1 like in the first 7-8 weeks of the year last year, but I kind of look at him as like this is your 26-year-old Mike Evans for the next like 3 years. He's probably not going to finish first. I think he could if he had just a blow up year, but just a solid receiver on the outside, just going to be a great pick in the draft. That's the way I kind of look at it.
What you want to say about your boy Jaden Higgins, though? I know you've been super high on him. Heck, me too. I like him too. So
I just like the opportunity. I mean, you want the number 2 guy for the Texans, C.J. Stroud, throwing in the ball, and I could see us talking about Nico and Higgins being a great 1-2 punch coming, mid-season this year if he pans out. And I just loved his tape. So opportunities there. The team is going to be good, 9.5 wins. They're going to be in games. They're going to be competing. They might win the division. They play in a soft division against bad defenses. Jaguars defense kind of sucks. Colts defense ain't no good. Titans are whatever. So that's 6 games of the year. You're going to have a good matchup anyway. So Higgins, he has a chance to finish as the best rookie receiver in fantasy points this year. That's kind of the way I look at it. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the best rookie receiver this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think the sky's the limit to the moon for him. Jalen Noel, I think I want to say a little something about him because he still got drafted in the 3rd round. And when we're doing all these dynasty startups, I know he's not getting drafted a redraft, but dynasty startups, I mean, he's going so low. I feel like he's kind of just being forgotten a little bit. And it's like, this dude's going to have a role on a team that has a C.J. Stroud who's like a top 10 quarterback. It's just like he's just kind of forgetting. His ADP's down there with like Romeo Dobbs and shit like that. I feel like so it's like we're kind of forgetting about him a little bit. But I think he's just great value for like he's got draft capital. He's probably going to have a role on an offense that's probably going to be good.
I think the difference between him and Higgins, even though they were 1 round apart, is you got Christian Kirk, who's going to be the slot guy. Jalen Noel profiles to be a slot receiver, so he actually has a harder path of getting on the field right away than Higgins does. Higgins is going to play on the outside mainly, and Jalen Noel could just straight up beat out Christian Kirk, and you might not. What did they trade for Christian Kirk? It was like a 7th round
pick.
Yeah, so they're not committed to him. We think Christian Kirk is great in the slot, and he's a veteran that's going to be in the right place at the right time. So I imagine Christian Kirk's going to start the season in the slot. But Jalen Noel, they drafted him for a reason.
And Christian Kirk, he's been looking good in practice and stuff like that. And Christian Kirk is a good football player. So, to get him for a 7th round pick is a steal, in my opinion. So, I mean, they're just dumb for trading him for that low. But, I mean, heck, you got to get something for him. But let's talk about this running back situation real quick because it ain't looking good because Joe Mixon's getting a little banged up. Nick Chubb, I've heard he ain't really impressing, which is really just obvious. I mean, he's old. He's had some bad injuries in his career. Like, if he's not looking good, I'm not really shocked by that at all. Dameon Pierce coming back a little bit healthy, my boy from a few years ago. So basically the running back room's a shit show. But once Joe Mixon gets back, it's to the boon for him because he really has no competition.
The problem is it's very hard to draft somebody coming that's hurt in all of training camp and was hurt at the very end of last year, 29 years old. And you're you might be calling your shot that it's the end for Joe Mixon, but the depth chart just doesn't say that it's going to be the end. Like you said, like Woody Marks, I've heard Nick Chubb is not looking good in training camp, and I hate it for him. Love Nick Chubb, but it might just be that time of his career. Too many injuries, getting older. So Joe Mixon should just come in, and as long as he's healthy, he should be great. He was the RB1 through week 11 last year until he went out. I mean, look at these points: 26 points, 8, 27, 26, 23, 16, 17, 35. I mean, this was the best running back in the NFL for the first half of the season in fantasy last year. And he's getting drafted. He's getting drafted pretty dang low this year, but I don't really want him. Truthfully, I really don't.
Nope. I don't either. I'm just thinking the running game is going to be sorry and the passing game is going to be on fire as long as they can protect C.J. Stroud. Did you want to talk about Schultz?
I'm really fine not even picking him. Like, there's no upside there at all.
None.
Like, if I'm taking a tight end late in the drafts, I did my tight end rankings the other day, and once it got past like tight end 8, I was just like, I was putting in guys that could have a good season, like could be jump up a tier rather than taking guys like Dalton Schultz, who he's going to be on the waiver wire and you're going to have to play him in matchups and DFS, stuff like that. He ain't got it, man. He's like Zach Ertz right now.
What I want to say about C.J. Stroud, and we ain't got to talk about him too much, but last year when we saw his ADP, he was like in the top 4, top 5, and me and Craftman was saying that was ridiculous. And I'm just saying, and I view C.J. Stroud, he is a good quarterback, but these pocket passers are going to have down years. So this year, I would say maybe look for him to bounce back a little bit and have a better season than he did last year.
He's going in that range where he'd probably be a decent quarterback to take. Like, would you rather C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love?
I'd go Stroud.
Stroud or Justin Fields?
I think that's tough. I think I lean Stroud, but obviously Fields has got a lot of upside with him with his rushing. I mean, he ran for a touchdown the other day in preseason, so you know what Fields is going to do. I lean Stroud, though, a little bit more safer, but, I could still see him having a great year like he did his rookie year.
Yeah, I think he'll probably end up being a decent pick, and the upside's still tremendous. It's just crazy how far somebody could drop when I'm pretty much giving him every excuse in the book from last year. You lose pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
You got to give him a pass. Right? I mean, he still looked good on the field to me. It was just every single receiver was not on the field.
Yeah, every single receiver. The O-line was bad. Got to give him a pass. There ain't no doubt about it. All right, Crabman, I'm going to switch it on up and head over to the Jacksonville Jags.
To the Jags.
Plus 300, the win-loss, 7.5. And listen, man, I like to talk about the Jags because, first of all, I want to say something about Travis Hunter because Travis Hunter, I've gone back and forth like 3 or 4 times. Like I was saying before the draft, I don't know if I've seen it. I don't know if I'm feeling it. Then the draft came, and I was like, golly, they traded up to go get him. Then later I was like, man, I don't know, man. Brian Thomas Jr., now we done seen a preseason game, and it's like it's clearly obvious they're getting this guy involved, and they're going to have him involved in the short game. They're going to be putting the ball in his hands. So really more of my question is does it affect Brian Thomas Jr. a little bit? Because I was expecting him to have a big role in the short game and the long game. I know he's going to have a role with Trevor Lawrence in the long game. T-Law is going to sling the ball deep, and it's going to go to BTJ. But I was kind of expecting BTJ to take that, take a lot of, the short route games. But to me, it kind of feels like maybe Travis Hunter's going to be a little more involved than what I was expecting. I've just been trying to dissect that wide receiving room really all off season. So I guess really my fantasy football question to you is Brian Thomas Jr. is going in the back. Back of the first 12. He's in that range with Nico and all them. 15, early second, back of the first, early second type stuff like that. I don't know, a little worried. Maybe his upside's a little compromised, or because this is the guy I was saying could finish wide receiver 1. Now I'm kind of questioning that just a tad.
You're talking about the wide receiver 1. He could finish as the wide receiver 1. Yeah, I don't know about that. It probably does limit his upside a little bit, but I'm a firm believer in you need a number 2. And they did add Travis Hunter, which is great, but they did lose Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. So you can kind of look at it like that, where it's a little bit more of the same, because Evan Ingram was demanding a whole bunch of targets. Christian Kirk is kind of a target hog when he's on the field. So is Travis Hunter going to demand as much targets as them guys? I think it's just going to be more concentrated between the two guys than it is spreading the ball around the field as much. I mean, they got a tight end, Brenton Strange, who, you could take a stab at him and throw him in there, but it's just going to be them two guys. So it's really going to rely on, is Trevor Lawrence. This got to be like the last year where you can believe that he could finish as a normal starter in your redraft setting. Like Superflex, he's obviously a good quarterback to have in Superflex, but he's still not a good quarterback to have most years. And this year could be different, but this has got to be the last year that I even believe in him as a fantasy asset at quarterback.
I mean, I feel like my analysis has been dead on about T-Law. Like, this dude's been with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and people actually, like, I hear people say all the time, like, he's not even a good quarterback. It's like, bro, this dude's definitely a good quarterback. Like, I definitely have my things against him. Like, I say he ain't got that dog in him and stuff like that, which I feel like he's kind of proving me wrong a little bit about that. Like, this dude has played hurt as much as any quarterback that has been out there. This dude plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Doug Peterson and them had no creativity in their offense. Before that, he dealt with Urban Meyer. So to me, it's like, and then with T-Law, maybe this is the last year you could trust him to be like a redraft starting quarterback. But as far as real football goes, I see people out there saying this could be his last year starting with the Jaguars, and I'm just like, dude, you are out your mind, dude. This dude is locked in for like 4 or 5 more years. He's not going anywhere. He's going nowhere. Yeah. So I think I honestly think T-Law, and I would say something negative about these Clemson players. I'm a Clemson fan, and I would definitely say something negative about him. I cannot say nothing too negative about T-Law like that. I feel like he's just had a bad hand. He's with the Jaguars, bro. But you're right. This year, he needs to show us something that he can do this thing. I mean, he's won a playoff game before. People acting like people just overreacting, man. Way overreacting. But let's just see how it goes with the new head coach. We'll see how it rolls. Got him another weapon. Really, my thing is like they needed to address the O-line. But heck,
they didn't do that.
For another year, they decide not to do that again. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
it's kind of the perfect recipe, though. They're kind of like the Bengals in an aspect, like perfect recipe. They don't have a defense that can, shut down anybody, so they're going to have to keep scoring. But it's just a knockoff of the Bengals where the offense sometimes can't keep it going either. But I'm fine taking Trevor Lawrence as my second quarterback in redraft just to kind of see what it happens. But I will have a very tight leash where he'll go back on the waiver wire pretty quick if it doesn't pan out. It's not like a wait and see approach with him because we've kind of already waited and seen what he can do in the league. And I think he's more just an average NFL quarterback at this point.
Yeah. Heck, enough of me going on my rant about him. What about the backfield? I know everybody was loving on some Tank. They love on Tank Bigsby. Nobody likes ETN. When preseason came around, ETN ran every snap with the first string offense. I just kind of think this is really what I was saying. ETN is just really the better football player. Let's just be honest. People don't want to say it because he had such a terrible year, but they had a bad O-line and the dude was banged up, and that's just how it is. That's just how it goes. I think Tank Bigsby is fine, but I don't see any world where the dude just comes out week one and it's just a Tank Bigsby backfield. That's just not happening. I know everybody wants that shit to happen. Travis Etienne is going to start, and Tank Bigsby is going to get his reps, and there's going to be a split for sure. But let's just quit acting like Etienne ain't nothing, because his ADP down there at like 36 or whatever it is, that's one of the best picks in redraft. Him and J.K. Dobbins. I'll slap on them all day.
ETN going that late. Maybe a starting running back. Liam Cohen coming over he worked with Bucky and Rashad White last year. Tank Bigsby, you can give him all the credit you want as a running back that can run between the tackles, and he's probably better at that than ETN. But Tank Bigsby cannot catch. He is absolutely terrible at it. He is not going to be using that role. And ETN he's going to finish higher than his ADP. So I'm kind of with you at drafting him so late. This was like the RB2 RB3 a couple years back.
Right.
So it's kind of funny to see how things have changed. And there hadn't been a whole lot of negative things said about him during camp or nothing like that. And we all know that he's explosive. And I kind of look at him as he's pretty much done the same kind of thing as Kenneth Walker's done in the league. But Kenneth Walker's still drafted. He's still going in the teens getting picked this year. Yeah. They've been damn near identical. Both explosive, both kind of dance around in the backfield, get tackled for loss. Their yards per carry isn't the best, but ETN probably going to be a good pick. Do you think who's the better pick though between Bigsby and ETN, with Bigsby going a little bit later?
I think it's ETN, because I think ETN's got a high upside. And my thing is, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be better this year. So if they're better, I think that makes ETN better. You know what I'm saying? If the offense is moving.
Don't fall for that trap, Matt. Don't fall for the Jags being better, man. That's the steep hill to climb, man.
Oh, man, I don't know. We'll see what we'll see. All right, you want to say anything about Brenton Strange? Look, I actually think he's I know it's a new quarterback, not a new quarterback, new coach and a new regime, but it was like, what's his face last year? God, he's slipping my name too with the Broncos now.
Evan Ingram.
Yeah, Evan Ingram, motherfucking Evan Ingram. Look, man, he had a lot of games where he was getting a lot of catches. You know what I'm saying? So Brenton Strange is now the tight end. And I know it's a new system and all that stuff, but I'm just saying there's a lot of vacated targets from the tight end position, and Brenton Strange going low in your redraft. So, like, if you're streaming, Brenton Strange really ain't a bad one. In your dynasty startups, he's way down there too. So I'm just saying there's a little bit of value with him.
Yeah, I mean, in the games that he played at the very end of the season there, he actually, did pretty well. He had 11 targets in one game, or 11 receptions, 12 targets in a game. So there's obviously some targets that can go around in the offense. And, if Travis Hunter ends up being great, I do think, like I said earlier, it's going to be BTJ, Travis Hunter show.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah. I agree. All right, man. You ready to slide it on over? Colts.
Under.
Favorite team? Under. Now, you want to know the reason why I can't say I was going to put the under? Because I think, what's his name?
Daniel Jones, is that going to change your mind on the over and under of the Colts?
Listen, man, I think Daniel Jones kind of gets a lot of hate. Like, I wasn't a big Daniel Jones guy, but let's just be real. He did have that good year with the New York Giants, and these Colts weapons are way better than what he was dealing with the Giants, other than Saquon. But even then, you got Jonathan Taylor. I'm just saying, like he ain't just a total tragedy like Anthony Richardson is. That dude, and listen, man, this dude Anthony Richardson, he is another one. I gotta add him to that list, Kraft, man. You know how I always talk about some of these guys just won't die, and people love him no matter what. Trey Lance, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, some of these guys just stay being loved. Well, Anthony Richardson, let's slide him to that list right there, because this dude right here, people are still like, I saw even just a video. Oh, you know what? He may have his downfalls, but nobody throws a tighter spiral than Anthony Richardson. Like, yo, man, shut the fuck up with that shit, bro. I'm so tired of this. Listen, man, me and the Kraft, man, when we do our rookie breakdowns, and I'm not saying we're the best evaluators ever, but we were dead right about guys like Trey Lance and Anthony Richardson and Will Levis, that type of player like that. Like, those guys don't work like that. They got upside and stuff, but if you can't even complete like simple stuff and then like if you have trouble completing passes in college, you're probably gonna struggle in the NFL. You know what I mean? Anthony Richardson's a total bust, bro. A total bust. Do you disagree with me, Kraft, man?
Not a single bit. If you can't complete 50% of your passes, that's kind of just the major telltale sign that you can't play in the NFL. It doesn't matter what your athleticism is, how far you can throw a football. It just doesn't matter. If you can't complete simple passes in the NFL and move the chains and sustain drives, that's the quarterbacks that you want in there. The quarterbacks that can read the defense and that's why I'm taking the under on the Colts. It's like Daniel Jones, he's better than Anthony Richardson, but he's still not good. Anthony Richardson sucks, and the defense over there ain't no good. The best thing you could say is that their offensive line's okay. Jonathan Taylor's going to get hella carries, and they'll win some games. But the Colts are going to be a pretty bad team. And Shane Steichen could get fired mid-season.
I think one thing that I just feel like when Daniel Jones gets over there, like he'll be able to complete some passes and stuff. And to me, it doesn't kind of it doesn't. Yeah, like, and it doesn't. To me, it just kind of is okay. Like, I feel like Pittman, Downs, and even AD Mitchell. I feel like maybe these guys could have some success once Daniel Jones comes in there, and I think it'll just be a little more. What's the word? Sustainable. That maybe they'll be on offense a little bit longer. Like Anthony Richardson's a bum, bro. I feel like Daniel Jones will come in there and just kind of, maybe keep drives alive a little bit more often, and can actually give us some fantasy relevancy with some of these guys.
And really, what's the difference? Daniel Jones can run. He's a mobile quarterback. It's not like Anthony Richardson is just that much better at running the football than Daniel Jones. So you get a quarterback who, like you said, complete the simple passes. It's going to be good. I feel like Josh Downs is the player that I want from this team, other than Jonathan Taylor. If JT is in like the back of the second round, if you could start off with Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, I would really like that start. Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, that's pretty sweet, but he's not really in my range of picking at the 110, so I haven't been taking him a lot, but I could definitely see a high floor with JT. And Josh Downs, he plays good with – he's the only receiver who plays good with Anthony Richardson. So,
yeah.
I think he's an actual good player. He came in last year with an ankle injury, came back from it, and I feel like he took over the wide receiver one role. But we're talking about with Pittman, you talk about a fall from grace. Dynasty, rewind 2-3 years ago, Michael Pittman was up there with like the Drake Londons of the world, where he is.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Nobody. My dad traded Devontae Adams and James Conner 2 years ago for Michael Pittman, and that did not work out at all.
Hey, I remember when we was playing Dynasty with the crew in my main league that I hold most dear to me. I remember David Thomas had Michael Pittman, and we were asking him what it would take, and he said 3 firsts in 2 seconds. Oh man, you ain't lying though. That joker fell way down. Heck, he's in our fake stuff Dynasty League. Shout out to old Kev. He was saying hit to my face, I got Michael Pittman for you. And I was like, that motherfucker's gonna die on your roster, yo. He ain't going nowhere.
No. Yeah. It was one of the bigger him and ETN, who we talked about earlier. I haven't seen two players that just fell from grace like that far down in just a single season. But we got to talk about Tyler Warren, the rookie. We got to talk about it. But one thing I got to say about that is we hate on Pittman, we hate on Downs. Both of them receivers, fantasy points might not come, but both of them guys are averaging 100 targets a season. What is left for Tyler Warren? Is he going to become like the number one target in the offense? You know, me and you have had some kind of harsh things to say. Where he's going in Dynasty. I actually, for a rookie, it's kind of weird. I like him in redraft more than I do Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, look, I definitely had some negative things to say about him. I was thinking his situation wasn't good at all. And he wasn't even the first tight end drafted like we had thought. Didn't he drop below Colston Loveland or whatever?
Yeah, he got picked after him.
I think so I think mainly it was like the situation was like, golly, the situation is so bad. But I feel like everything we hear from camp is this dude showing out. And, I think in that preseason game, he got a few targets. I've seen somebody saying this dude's going to have tons of targets to get tons of work with the Colts this year. So I've, got to rethink the situation a little bit. Maybe it's not going to be that bad. Maybe he's going to be more of a force than what I thought. And I think we got to show him the proper respect. And you're right. I mean, he was going super high in Dynasty or whatever. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%, Kraft, man.
There's just a difference between the Dynasty and redraft rankings. He's going to tight end 10 and redraft. And like I said, once you get past like tight end 6 or whatever, the scoring is not that different. And I would take a shot on – I want a tight end who could be the number one target or number two target in the offense, and he kind of fits that bill. So if you draft him in redraft and he is the number one target with the Colts, you got a tight end to start all year. If not, then you can find you can stream the position and be just as well off as half the other teams in your league. So in redraft, I'll definitely take him where he's going and just hope for the best, because there's not that many, like we put like Dalton Kincaid in that category. Could be the number one or two target in the offense. Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'd rather take shots at tight end like that in redraft than I would, your guys like Jake Ferg or Dallas Goedert. Yeah. You're not really going to win the league by doing that, taking guys like that.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Anything else you want to add to the Colts? I know we didn't talk about JT too much, but, JT's going to do what he does. He's going to do his thing. So, all right, then. Slide it over to the Tennessee Titans, because I got just a little bit of things I want to say. I think I think they're getting, how do I say it? Cam Ward, nobody's talking about this man. And I think he is. I think the Tennessee Titans, that's what I'm saying. Number one overall pick. Nobody wants to talk about him because they want to talk about other stuff. I just think the situation is, I think the Titans might change their fortunes around with Cam Ward. I'm just being honest. Everything this dude says, I love what he fucking says. This dude is all about football. When we do our little college breakdowns, what did we know? Because we're new to it. Like, we ain't no scouts and shit like that. Hey, Cam Ward's played a lot of college football. He's had a lot of reps. And Jaden Daniels played a lot of college football. He had a lot of reps. I feel like Washington has turned their fortunes around for the next decade or so. I'm thinking Tennessee, if they can button it up and protect Cam Ward and then maybe get him some weapons, I'm just loving everything about Cam Ward. I love him in Dynasty. I might not love him in redraft, obviously. I'm not going to be putting him in my lineup unless he just totally surprises us. But he's not.
They just don't have the weapons over there for him to
Right.
be great, and he's not that big of a rushing quarterback. So if he had one other receiver, we'd probably be a little bit higher. But this offense is probably going to be bottom half of the league in scoring, passing offense, everything else. But the head coach over there, I think it's Callahan. He worked with Baker. He turned his career around. So you got a QB friendly coach over there in Tennessee right now who was absolutely pulling every single hair out of his head last year watching Will Levis play. So it's probably going to be a much better situation. And the 5.5, I would take the over on that. I think the Titans are going to surprise a little bit this year, and they're going to be a formidable team. They're not going to be great, but they're going to be okay.
Hey, I even like what he said whenever asking him about who the best receivers are, and he just started naming all his guys. You know what I'm saying? Even Treylon Burks. Like, I even like that shit. I love me some Cam Ward. I can't deny it. And, you're right. I think they got a little – I ain't going to say a steal because he's the number 1 overall pick, but I'm just saying I think they got lucky with getting a quarterback like this that nobody wants to talk about. No eyes are on him. They can let him develop. Calvin Ridley, I'm kind of in on him this year just because he has no competition really. And I know we said it. I can't remember what episode we said this in, but we were talking about Calvin Ridley, and you were saying all Cam Ward has to do is be better than Will Levis. Well, I agree with that, and I know he's going to be better than Will Levis. There ain't no thinking. I know he is. I think Calvin Ridley might enjoy himself this year and give us some good fantasy football. What do you think about that, Kraft man?
Still going as a wide receiver 34 in ADP right now. Well, I've said a lot about him in a previous episode. I think this is just a steal in your draft. He's going to be a wide receiver 2 this year. I just kind of feel it, man. The targets are going to be that they have nobody else to throw the ball to, and he was better than wide receiver 34 last year, so he's going to be better than that this year with a better quarterback, better system. Everything's kind of looking up for the Titans compared to last year. So, yeah, Calvin Ridley is a smash pick in the draft. I just hope his ADP doesn't rise up further than it is because I would love to have him as my wide receiver 3 or 4.
Yeah. Hey, I hear you. Tony Pollard. I seen Tajay Spears dealing with an ankle injury. So Tony Pollard, he's going as the RB28. I feel like that's just as good as value as some of the things. Some of the people
another
I've been
good
talking
pick,
about.
man. Another good pick.
I mean, and he's down there. So it's like we're talking about the Titans, this and that, but it's like Tony Pollard, no competition, going as the RB28. Same with Calvin Ridley, no competition. He's going as wide receiver 36. There's some good value with the running back and the wide receiver for this team.
Yeah, Tony Pollard 3 straight years over 1,000 yards. Last year finished at 21, and with only 5 touchdowns. So, like you said, Tajay Spears. I've heard some people say like I'm high on Tajay Spears. I'm like I think I'm done with Tajay Spears at this point. I'm completely done with Tajay Spears. So Tony Pollard he's a good running back, and he's going to fit this. He fit the system fine last year, and he's going to be a good pick this year. If you want to start running back to put in your flex spot every single week, this is probably the guy to go ahead and snag up because he's cheaper than guys like Aaron Jones and some of the other guys going down there. And I don't really look at him that much different than players like that, like DeAndre Swift. I would take Pollard.
I mean, look, you got Tony Pollard going down there, and they're kind of mixed around with the rookies like Judkins and Caleb Johnson. But like we talk about Brian Robinson, starting running back. I mean, he's right there in that range with him, So these are some good
Brian Robinson's splitting. Yeah, he's splitting work. He actually has a good backup that's going to come in and catch passes. Tony Pollard is by far the best running back on the team, and has proven it year in, year out that he's still good. So he should have another good season. Where do you
Craft
think
man.
the ceiling is for Tony Pollard?
I mean, where did he finish last year? He finished as 21, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, heck, I could see something like that again. Yeah, I think he's good, but I think they're going to be still limited with. I mean, rookie quarterbacks. It's not like they're going to be a high flying offense. I still think they'll struggle, and so he's an RB2. I mean, but he probably has a little more upside than he could easily finish higher than 21.
Yeah, the only thing I got to say bad about the Titans, they drafted my most hated receiver in the rookie class, so I really don't know what they were doing with A.O. Manor. Oh God,
Yeah.
their
I've
wide
been seeing
receiver,
some
their
good
wide
things
receiver
about him.
core. I hope he pans out. It make me look like a fool, but their wide receiver core is a little rough right now outside of Calvin Ridley. It's looking pretty bare. That's why I think Chigakonkwo, I'd love to go trade for him in Dynasty. I think he's a pretty good tight end who's been kind of limited by the quarterback play too. So Chig, and like I said, number one, number two target on the team. He's not going to be the number one, but he could be the number two target on the team.
Yeah. Good streaming tight end too for redraft, and we've seen what he can do. He's athletic and can definitely catch the ball. So yeah, I'm with you. All right, Craft Man. Well, who wins the division, man?
Yeah, you go first. I got to think about it for a second because this one's it's sucky versus sucky.
Hey, man, calling my shot. I've been calling my shot. Jacksonville, Houston,
Ooh.
Tennessee, Colts. Let's go, baby. Colts finishing at the bottom.
I'm going to say Houston, Tennessee, Jaguars, Colts.
Yeah, a little bit of disagreement. We've been agreeing a lot on these things.
It don't take much to finish second in this division. I think 8 wins will get it. And I think the Titans can pull out. Mike can pull out 8. The Jags, they could, but I'm a little tired of them, man. They screw me year in, year out. No defense, man. No defense.
NFC South, we got the Bucks, the Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, and the Saints. We really need to see Swizzy on here to talk this division with us, but heck, I ain't seen him in a minute. I wonder if he'll even hear this, so I can say, "Damn, Swizzy, I wish he was on to talk about this shit." But hey, we'll start it off talking about the defending champions of this division, and that will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at plus 100. Really some good value at plus money right there if you really think Tampa Bay is going to run it back again. Over and unders at 9.5. Listen, man, I think the Buccaneers are going to be good. I've been done said it. I think this division is probably going to be a little bit better this year than what people are expecting because I see reasons to be optimistic on everybody except the Saints' ass. I'm even kind of feeling some type of way about the Panthers this year. So Buccaneers plus 100. We got Baker in the building. Same thing. Mike Evans and then Godwin re-signed, but he's been a little hurt. Egbuka showing out. So we got a lot of things. Another offense that's going to be very involved in our fantasy lineups and stuff this year. But Mike Evans, another year, same thing for me with Mike Evans. Yeah, I mean, I don't see nothing changing with Mike Evans. I know eventually he's going to fall off, but I'm going to say at least one more year. We'll push it back one more year. I think he keeps doing this thing for another year.
I'm hanging on by a thread with Mike Evans. He's been through the offseason. I've been really high on him, and then sometimes I think it might be not the best pick in the middle of the third round. I just don't know if I feel comfortable with him as my wide receiver one. Would you feel like if you went double RB to start, would you feel completely comfortable with Mike Evans being your one?
Man, not really, to be honest with you. I mean, it does feel like he'll get a finish up there in the top 12 like he seems to do a lot, but he's not going to get a lot of volume. Maybe in half PPR, maybe I could think about taking him as my wide receiver one, but PPR leagues, I wouldn't want to do it. But, it's just one of those things. Like, I think we have Mike Evans in a league. He's like our wide receiver 3 or something like that. Like,
I'm
I
happy
feel
with
great
that.
about that. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
feel
I
great,
feel
good as a
great.
motherfucker about that shit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, as far as my first guy, I don't really want it, but I do think he'll be solid again, and I think he'll put up some big games, score some touchdowns. You know, there's nothing to hate on him. So I think he'll just be solid. I don't think it's going to be nothing too special.
Like same as he always does, about 70 receptions for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's pretty much where you.
Yep.
I was kind of surprised looking at tight ends that when I was, doing my rankings and stuff. George Kittle had the exact, pretty much the same line as Mike Evans did last year, and you can get Kittle around later. So I kind of feel. I don't know how I feel about Mike Evans. Igbuka should come in. The thing is with the Bucs is like you said, like this is a team where you want players, and their offense is going to be clicking. So I don't really think you should be down on any of their weapons, and except for maybe Chris Godwin.
He's off my board, bro. Don't even want him.
Got to be high on Igbuka then if you're going to say that.
Hey, I said Igbuka. I thought he was the most NFL ready, and I'm seeing the way Baker's talking about him and the way the Buccaneers, just what's being said at camp about him. I'm telling y'all, man, Igbuka's a good football player. I think he's really there to take over a spot, and I think it's Chris Godwin's spot. I know they just paid him some money and stuff, but it's like this dude just had a bad injury again, man. There's no way I could consider him in redraft. Like, I really don't even know what the Buccaneers are doing giving him that money, to be honest with you, other than he's been on your organization a long time, and it's time to just pay him a little bit more. But other than that, it's like, man, Igbuka's there. I don't know, man. I just think they drafted Igbuka to address the Chris Godwin situation, even though Chris Godwin just got paid a little bit more money. So I know it doesn't make any sense what I'm saying, but it's just like, I don't think Igbuka's there to address a Mike Evans situation. I just think it's more of like a Chris Godwin situation.
Well, with Godwin, where would he be getting drafted if he didn't get paid? And that's like we were talking about. If they go out and draft Igbuka in the first round, right? In the first round, and Godwin didn't get paid, Godwin wouldn't be really considered as a higher end draft pick this year. So the money is really the only thing that's keeping anybody hanging on. And just what he did at the beginning of last year, where he was he was outscored Mike Evans by a long shot. Chris Godwin was. So.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen leaving though.
I don't know.
Different coordinator. I think we see Igbuka take over.
I agree. I'm with it. The backfield, Bucky Irvin, it looks like it's his backfield. I think Rachaad White's hurt right now or something like that. I think he just got hurt in a preseason game or something maybe. But listen, you know me, I love me some Rachaad White. He was going in the 11th round of redraft, and I was still like, give me some of that in the 11th round. I'll take that. Bucky Irvin's a beast. He's going into – heck, let me pull it up, man. Bucky Irvin, I know he was going in that second round. He's the RB9 going behind Josh Jacobs, Achane, right in front of Jonathan Taylor. So I feel like his ADP is appropriate. And Dynasty, me and old Noah Bubble Blower just shipped him off for Kevin Johnson in the first, though. Yeah. Not that I just thought it was a good deal. But redraft-wise, I'm all for it. His ADP is at 20, so we're talking about mid to the back of the second. Maybe most leagues I'm in, he'll be at the front of the second. But, I feel pretty good. I feel good about Bucky Irvin. I feel like he looked good last year. I don't really see no reason. I don't know. I'm just rambling, I guess, about Bucky Irvin. I think he's fine. I think his ADP is appropriate. I'd probably take him over Josh Jacobs, but that's tough. I'd take him over JT, who he slotted ahead of. I'd probably take Kyron over both of them motherfuckers. But
gotta love
right now.
Well, from weeks 12 to 17, Bucky was the RB4 in fantasy, and that was really the time where he started getting over 50% of the carries. And he still never really got into that workhorse role, getting everything. He had one week where he got 25 carries, played 54% of the snaps, had 152 yards and a touchdown. But then the next week, he was pretty much banged up. He played 16% of the snaps. So that's really the only negative I can say about him is like you can't give him 20 carries in a game and expect him to last all season. He's a smaller back. Kind of look at him as Devon Achane for the Bucs. And
yeah,
if you're fine taking Achane, then you should definitely be fine taking Bucky because he's done took over the backfield. Rashad White's just going to come in, play some third downs. And it shows right there that Bucky don't need but 50% of the snaps to be fantasy relevant on this offense.
Yeah. Agreed. But I will say, I do think Rashad White definitely still has a role with these running backs. Like, he still got a lot of carries last year. I know people don't – he's not as good as Bucky Irvin. That's obvious, but I'm just saying – Rashad White's still going to have a role, and he's still going to get his carries. I mean, you're right. It's going to be like a 50 split. Well, it's going to be like a 55-45 split type deal. If Rashad White is healthy, I don't even know what his injury details are right now. So, seen a little buzz on Sean Tucker again, though. I always got a little buzz.
Hey, in the preseason, always doing something.
So, oh, me. But, all right, K. Dotton. Another streamer tight end. I've plugged K. Dotton in my lineups plenty of times over the years
He's the ultimate
to do
plug.
nothing for me.
He's like the ultimate plug.
Yeah. I mean, and he can have some solid games with Baker. So, not much to say about him. Just K. Dotton's K. Dotton.
Yeah. And the only reason he was relevant last year is because Mike Evans was hurt, Chris Godwin was hurt through a stretch there, and it was like the K. Dotton show for a couple weeks. And he's completely off my board. He's not going to do anything for you. He's like Mike Gesicki with the Bengals, where it's just like you got to have receiver injuries to be relevant if you're, K. Dotton or Mike Gesicki. So, as long as their offense is healthy and their receivers are out there, K. Dotton ain't going to do anything. He's going to have some goose games where he don't catch a single ball. And his ceiling is non-existent. So, rather have Chig.
Oh, big time. Big time. Not even close.
All
right, man. Slide it over to my team, man. My favorite team, man. Hey, I say it before I die. I've seen Clemson win. I've seen the Braves win. I've seen Dirk win. I seen Kawhi win. I got to see the Falcons win before I die, or my life is not fulfilled, man. One time.
Who is Kawhi? Who is Kawhi?
Kawhi Leonard?
Did he
you don't
win?
know who the Claw is? Man, he won with the Spurs and the Raptors. Why are you going to do my man like that now? Come on now.
He didn't win a championship.
Man, he won a championship, bro. He won a championship with the Toronto Raptors and the Spurs. Come on. Now
the Raptors,
don't be dissing
the Raptors
on my man
didn't
like
win.
That. Man, you've been away from the NBA way too long, man. Look, there's only a few guys.
When did the Raptors win a championship? The Raptors hadn't won a championship.
I can't remember what year it is, but the fact that you don't even know this just cracks me up. And it just
they did it. They didn't win.
They did. They beat the Golden State Warriors at the championship. This is true. This is true. This is really happened because there ain't that many players in the NBA that's won a championship without it being a super team. And Kawhi and Dirk and Giannis, they're those special guys like that.
If y'all watch this video, put it in the comments and please tell him that they never won one, and we'll go from there.
It is
Dirk.
It is hilarious.
Dirk Nowitzki did. Is that you're talking about? Dirk, right? The Mavs.
Yeah, we know who Dirk did. I just think you're the funniest.
He didn't win with the Spurs neither. They hadn't won one since the Tim Duncan era.
He was there at the Tim Duncan era. Sucker.
Was he a rookie?
Hold on. He was
you might be right about that one.
He was a 2-year or 3-year player. He even won Finals MVP. Come on now, man. You need to get your stuff together, bro. Come on, man. Don't be hating on my guy like that.
I'm asking Google, man, when did the Raptors win? They won in 2019.
Whatever year it was. It's so funny, man.
6 years ago? Where was I? Man, I missed that.
Hi, man. We back on it. Falcons. I came up. It's funny. I really hope the crew listens to that. They'll laugh their ass off. They hate quiet so much. But anyways, the Falcons plus 210, win loss 7.5, smashing the over on that, smashing it all day. Because listen, man, the reason why, and I'm not just sitting here tooting the Falcons horn because I've been a Falcons fan my whole life. Like I'll hate on the Falcons as much as anybody, man. We are a clown fan base and a clown organization, and that's just the straight facts of it all, especially the fan base part, bro. The clowniest fans of them all, man. But I just want to say, when everybody was hating and crying about us drafting Michael Penix in the first round, that was the best pick I've seen us make in fucking years, man. I keep seeing us draft wide receivers in the first round, a tight end in the top 3. We've done some goofy ass shit. I'm so glad we got a quarterback that I've been in on that I like, because I think Michael Penix is legit. I think he knows how to spin that rock, and I think it benefits Drake London. I think he's a winner. So I just think the Falcons just hit the jackpot with this pick. I'm a big Michael Penix guy. I know he's a lefty. I'm a lefty too. So I'm just saying, man, this is my guy. I think Drake London is going to explode this year. And I think we're not really going to have to straight up rely on Michael Penix. We got Bijan. We can run the football. I'm just saying, I just see where the Falcons have been these past, I don't even know how many years. And this is the first time I've been optimistic about the Falcons in a long time about having a nice young quarterback who's got a lot of reps. I know he's had some injury problems in the past, but I'm all in on Michael Penix. All motherfucking in. And I can't wait. 7.5 is easy money. This is the easiest offseason bet I'm going to place all year.
They have they're one game under the Bears in the NFC North, and they play in the NFC South. So I would hope they could get over 7.5. I've been going to everybody at work trying to get a 8.5 out of people, trying to make a bet that way, because they're not going to be good. It's the Falcons. They're going to suck. And their offense should roll, but their defense is still bad. They did draft 2 pass rushers in the first round this year. That's their biggest need as a team. But I believe in Penix. I believe in Bijan. I believe in Drake London. But I have a hard time believing in the Falcons in general. So, Matt, you said all that just for me to just sit here and
listen.
One ear and one ear out the other.
Hey, I don't blame anybody for hating on the Falcons and not believing the Falcons. I'm really just a Penix guy. That's really what I believe in the most, if I'm just being honest. And I just laugh at all. I just think it's so funny. I mean, all our Falcons fans will be so happy about drafting a wide receiver in the first round, but then cry about us getting a quarterback in the top 10. Like, it's just like the priorities of you motherfuckers. It just drives me insane. And then I remember some people saying, I can't believe we didn't take Roma Dudze. And I'm just thinking, another receiver? You want to get another one? Like, how many times are we going to do this shit, bro? I'm fucking sick of it, man.
He's like Drake London, too. They're the same kind of player.
Man, I'm just so glad that we got a quarterback, and then we started addressing the defense. Like, let's worry about our defense, Falcons fans. Like, I don't know what it is, like why they just slip through the cracks. Nobody ever wants to talk about our defense, but in my life, we have never had a good defense. And that year we went to the Super Bowl, they were like top 10. It was like, yeah, because they were off the motherfucking field, bro. We didn't have no good players. Like Deion Jones and Keanu Neal ain't good, bro. There's nothing good or solid about them. They couldn't even stay in the league past the Falcons hardly. They go over to the Cowboys and play with Dan Quinn, and then they were gone from there because they suck. Those guys suck. I'm just so glad we started to try to do something about it. And honestly, Arthur Blank, you should get way more criticism than Jerry Jones gets because you're a fucking bum, bro. I know he'll never hear this, but Arthur Blank ain't shit, bro. All right. So anyways, Drake London, he's going – where is he going? Back in the first –
early second.
Well, I got him at wide receiver 10. So yeah, early second, 17.6. Listen, I'm all in on Drake London for this year. As far as I think this year, he's going to establish himself as like the top of tier 2 type of guy. I know some people are high on him. I just think his situation is real good of a lot of situations. He's got a quarterback that's willing to throw it, and I think he's going to target him like crazy. And he ain't got no competition because Mooney's hurt, and we're talking Ray McLeod and Kyle Pitts, and that don't really freak me out even a little bit. So Drake London is in such a good spot as far as being a top wide receiver this year.
Do you put any stock into like the last 3 games that he played with Phoenix, or was it just they played the Giants, Commanders, and Carolina? They were Giants, pretty good defense, but Commanders, Carolina, 40 points against Carolina. Do you think that was like a telltale sign of Michael Penix is going to target Drake London like that? Because I'm with you. I'm pretty much in on London. I think he's going in the perfect spot. Would you rather have London or Brian Thomas there if you were in the back?
I'm taking Drake London this year. I'm just being honest. I just think if you don't want to take stock in anything at the end of the year, I think you should at least take stock in he's looking at Drake London. So
he finished as wide receiver 6 last year.
Hey, he had a great year last year, and that was mixed in with some Kirk Cousins. He had some good games with Kirk Cousins, but Kirk was, he had that stretch where he was just, I don't even know what happened to him. It's like his Achilles caught up to him or something. So, hey, if you was to ask me a fantasy football question, a dark horse guy that nobody's thinking about who could finish wide receiver 1 overall, this would be my pick right here. I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to finish higher than Jamar Chase or nothing like that, but he'd be the one I'd be sneaking in there before I'd put Neighbors or BTJ up in there.
I would definitely take him over Malik Neighbors. There's no doubt in my mind that I'd take him over Malik Neighbors. And the offense should click. If Michael Penix ends up being a superstar quarterback or just a above average quarterback, he could have just as good a season as he had last year, and he's getting drafted after that. So, Kirk Cousins wasn't really nothing to write home about what he did last year, and Drake London still produced. So, yeah. Drake London's going to be he'll be a good pick.
Bijan Robinson and redraft is going in that tier 1 at Bijan, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley. Where would you take him, Craftman?
I wish I had the number 3 pick so I could just pick the one left over. Yeah. Probably. I don't think that he should be going. I don't think he should be going ahead of Chase. I would take him 3rd. I don't think he should be going ahead of Saquon and Chase. Chase, we haven't really seen a back-to-back wide receiver 1 finish since Antonio Brown. You can't tell me if Jamar Chase stays healthy all year that he shouldn't finish at the number 1 at wide receiver. There's just I don't see a way he doesn't. Yeah. And then Saquon, I'm just comparing the Eagles to the Falcons, and that's all I really need to do. I know Bijan's probably going to catch more passes, but you talk about the breakaway runs. Bijan really didn't have a lot of breakaway runs last year, and Saquon's out there busting off a 50-yard touchdown, every other week. And the offensive line, the Falcons aren't the worst, but they're not the best. So Bijan definitely worth in the top 3, but I think we're overreaching picking him over Saquon unless you're thinking Saquon's going to get hurt.
Any love for Kyle Pitts this year? Any?
I'll draft him.
Man.
I'll draft him. Like I said, he could be the number 2 target on the team. If he don't work out, you've already seen it. You've seen it for so long. Like, you don't have to hold him as long as you have in the past. Like, he comes out there, you got him in your lineup for 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks of the season. Just cut bait like really early. Don't hold on to Kyle Pitts has got drafted so early and he had a 1,000-yard season his rookie year. Like that shit is so far in the past. But what's it going to hurt to draft Kyle Pitts if Michael Penix ends up being a really good quarterback? Like you said, Darnell Mooney's hurt now too. I thought Darnell Mooney was definitely going to be the number 2 on the team. So Kyle Pitts' contract year, you could do worse than drafting Kyle
Hey.
Pitts, in my opinion. As much as you can hate him, can hate him all you want, but I'd still pick him.
Look, I can agree with what you said, but I can also say, in real football, this dude is either hurt or this dude he does not care about football. He's not good. I agree.
He's not good, but put any other tight end that's not good on this team, and they would probably still get put Evan Ingram on this team, put Jake Ferg as your tight end on this team as the number 2 target. They would probably be going. They would be getting drafted, and people would, be anxious to see what the start of the season looks like. That's the way I look at it. I don't think he's a good player at all, but
right.
Target's got to go somewhere.
Enough on these Falcons, man. Let's move over to the Panthers because I kind of like the Panthers because I kind of like Bryce Young, and I like Ted McMillan, and I'm glad that Bryce Young really turned it around last year, and I like Chuba Hubbard. So it's I like all these guys. So I think the Panthers might be a little bit better this year as long as Bryce Young can keep up what he did towards the end of last year. Torched the Falcons in their great defense in that one game. I mean, that we scored all these points, but Bryce Young, look at shit all year, comes into the dome is just slinging it all over us. But now they got a new weapon in there with Ted McMillan, and I like Ted McMillan. I think he's good. I think we're looking at a future tier 2 type dynasty wide receiver kind of guy. So there's really not much for me to say about the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard's obviously a good pick in redraft with Jonathan Brooks going to be going all year. Chuba just signed a 3 or 4 year deal just last year. He's going to get the work, and he was good last year, and the Panthers were ass. So I expect the Panthers to be a little bit better this year, and I think Chuba Hubbard's a smash.
Chuba Hubbard's one of my favorite players. I had him last year, and it was just how are you so good with such a shitty team? And if they're just a little bit better this year, then he should pay off his ADP. I would take Chuba over guys like Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. He's kind of in that James Conner type tier to me. He was very inefficient in the receiving game. Him and Kyron were damn near identical. A good amount of receptions and did nothing with them. But you got Dowdle over there who could take a little bit of work, but I don't expect it to be a lot.
Nah.
Chuba's getting paid like a workhorse running back, so they're going to use him that way. And to go on Ted McMillan, I'm down on him. The preseason's not going to change my mind that much about how I feel about Bryce Young and Ted McMillan, just the way their games match up. He's going around guys like Jameson and George Pickens. I would take both of them guys over McMillan. I know you probably don't.
Hell no.
You probably don't agree with that, but I would.
No way. I mean, is there anything else you really even want to say about the Panthers? I'm not really.
Yeah, man.
What you got to say about them? What you got?
You watch Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam Sandler in it. It was the worst movie I've ever seen. But
I ain't seen it yet, but I will.
An old guy named Adam who's really good at golf, Adam Thielen, man, he's still going to be involved. I promise you he's still going to be involved. And Adam Thielen's fine. He's pretty much undrafted at this point, going incredibly late. If you want a receiver that's going to actually put some points in your lineup and you can count on it every week for some guy you pick in the 15th round, Adam Thielen's going to be – I think Adam Thielen's actually going to be a steal in drafts because especially at the beginning of the season when Tet's kind of finding his way a little bit, Adam Thielen's going to absorb a lot of targets.
Man, I seen a spider over there, and then I lost it. I needed to go kill that thing.
Is that what you were doing? A spider?
Yeah, dude, I had to get it. Man, I ain't finna be playing. Homie, don't play that. About to go smash that thing. But, hey, look for Hunter Renfrow to come in there and take that spot from Adam Thielen.
Yeah, whatever.
Hunter Renfrow knows how to run that slot. I can't wait.
He won't see the field.
Hey, he finished as the wide receiver 13 one year. Y'all sleeping on him, man.
I remember there's a bunch of years for receivers to finish pretty good. I remember Devontae Parker finished at the top 15 one season. I think shit happens,
13.
Man.
I was about to say, I think it was number 13 too that one year.
Yeah.
right, man. Let's move on to the shittiest of them all.
Plus
The Saints.
1,300. Still not as bad as the Browns.
Yeah, I was about to say, even of all the shitty situations, man, I still ain't seen one even nowhere near them Browns odds.
Plus 3,600. This division also don't have the Ravens in it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think the Ravens got something to do with that. But, I mean, listen, man, there's not really much for me to say about the Saints other than, like, I'm not really even high on Kamara this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not high on nobody. Like, I ain't high. Whatever their quarterback situation is going to be, it's not going to be good. Chris Olave would be like, and Rashid Shaheed, like, those are the names that you bring up. It's like, I don't have nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris Olave is a terrible asset to have in Dynasty right now, man. Terrible.
Traded him for or I traded T. Higgins to get him a couple years back. Feel kind of shitty about that.
Oh man, I know it's crazy because I think about that startup that we did for Doo Dynasty. I took Chris Olave in the 3rd round, bro. And I eventually traded him, but I mean, damn, what a terrible pick! It's crazy. I traded him for like the 103, and that was gonna be like Malik Neighbors or something like that. But yeah. I mean, what do you say about Kamara? I mean, I feel like you're probably going to be higher on him than I am. I just think that offense is going to be so bad, man. They're not going to – I mean, he's still going to score a point here, score a point there, catch a ball here, catch a ball there. I know he's going to do his thing, but it's like, is this year they finally, he finally falls off? I'm going to call my shot with it this year.
I don't think so. I don't think this is where Kamara falls off. He's still, he's a value, in my opinion, like where you can get him around that Breece Hall, James Cook range. Probably take Cook over him if he signs a contract. But, they were shitty last year, and Kamara was just fine. The only thing you got to worry about Kamara, which makes it very, very tough to draft him, is the fact that this is going to be a team where they paid Kamara a lot of money. He signed a 2-year deal again, and if they're 1-9 come week 11, how much are they gonna want to play Kamara and risk him being out there every single week? I mean, he's at the end of his career, but if you think the Dolphins are going to be terrible, like as bad as you do, and you're still in on Achane, there ain't a whole lot of difference between.
I mean, I can have a little bit of faith of Tua to get the ball to Achane. Am I going to have that much faith in Rattler and Shuck to do that thing?
Maybe not to get it to the receivers, but to get it to Kamara. There's nobody else on that team to catch the ball, so just don't watch the Saints play. Put Kamara in your lineup and just be happy when he scores 15 points and has 9 receptions.
Man, I don't know, man. The moral of it is I don't want no Saints on my team. I don't want them.
I don't really either, but Kamara is pretty much the only one that I won't be excited to pick him, but I think you probably should pick him.
What about Jawan Johnson?
Nah. He's a decent player. He's kind of in that Chig situation, but I'd rather bet on like Cam Ward to be like that, like Stroud stepped up, Jaden Daniels stepped up. Like, what if Cam Ward takes a step like similar to that? Then, somebody like a Okonkwo could be relevant, but Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler ain't going to be taking no C.J. Stroud step up with the Saints.
No.
Their receiving core, golly, man. They got Brandon Cooks back. Didn't they get Brandon Cooks back?
Yeah, I seen that. Made it back home. Must be one of those little, what do they call it? A little farewell tour.
he's been on, I feel like, every team in the NFL now.
Yeah.
He's been around the block. So that's your number 2, and then Olave.
Well, it's going to be a little bit different than when he had Drew Brees around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And he's like 31 years old or whatever he is now. So Kamara's just going to be involved. And Olave, just get him off my board, man. I don't even want to see his name. He has to be down there with guys like Khalil Shakir or something.
Dude, his ADP is ridiculous. Ain't it like the 6th round or something like that? 6th or 7th round? Like, Who the fuck is doing that shit? I don't know who's doing that, but you need to stop. That's some fantasy football malpractice right there for sure.
He should have a lot of targets, though, man.
Yeah, well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what to think about him other than I just don't want him. But Crabman, pick the division, bro. How's it go?
Yeah, we got it. This one's pretty easy. You got Tampa, Falcons, Panthers, Saints.
Yes, sir. It's going to go Falcons, Tampa.
No, it's not.
Panthers, Saints. Falcons, man, that is just such easy money. Plus 210, bro. You're not going back-to-back in this division, Tampa. No way.
They already did.
Hey, the Falcons, they was whooping up on Tampa last year. I think we beat them twice last year. Still, it's just such a clown show sometimes, bro. We at least beat them once because I know I was at that game.
Yeah, was that game where Bucky fumbled there? They were running out the clock and Bucky fumbled, and then they, were able to get the ball back, and kick a long field goal or something like that to end it. Like Bucks had it won, it was over.
Nah, I don't think that happened, but I do remember what happened. He did something to mess up my parlay, though.
Wasn't that Kirk Cousins throwing for like 500 yards or something?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Now you're going to have to deal with this. They might not make it out of the division. All right, then. Well, shoot, crap, man. I think that about wraps it up. That's our AFC South, NFC South breakdowns. We just got one more set of divisions to go. Listen, everybody out there, thank you for listening to the podcast. Me and Crapman putting a lot of hard work into doing this thing. So, share the show, like it, subscribe, wherever you can listen to this podcast, literally anywhere you can download a podcast. We should be on there. And if you want to check us out on YouTube and you see how good we look, you can check that out too. Craftman, is there anything you'd like to add?
We do look pretty good sometimes. Sometimes not so good. Sometimes we look pretty good. I felt like tonight we looked pretty good. So if you would just want to watch the video and mute us, you just see us talk, you can do that also. I mean, that counts as a view. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Off of that, we just appreciate everybody for listening. And season's coming up quick.
Yes, sir. Cannot wait. All right, then. Well, shoot, that wraps it on up. So we are out.
Peace.